Good afternoon, Broncos. Please stand for the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence.
Welcome back. Yesterday, Dusty Ortiz was announced as the new head coach of the football team, and here we have some footage.
Good morning. Appreciate all of you guys being here this morning. Before we actually get started this morning with the press conference, there's a few individual groups that I want to recognize this morning before we actually begin with the press conference this morning. First of all, I want to recognize the individuals sitting before me, and that's our student athletes. I also want to recognize our parents. Let's give them a hand for me, please. As we started this process, the first group of individuals that we met with was our kids. Because we wanted to make sure that we heard directly from our kids what was important to them and created a profile for who our next coach would be. What is important to our kids in reference to what they want to see leading them forward. Another group that was very instrumental in this process was our parents, our booster club, and many community members. So as we held these meetings so that we could gather data and information on what is it exactly that the Bronco family wants in our next football coach, we were able to create a profile. And through that profile, we were able to post a position that I believe we had over 30 candidates that applied for this position. I want to make sure that I thank everyone that was involved. Our kids, our parents, our booster club, and many community members that actually do not even have kids at Odessa High that came to our meetings to ensure that they had input into the decision that was going to be made. Through that process, I just told you there were over 30 candidates that applied for the job. Several weeks ago, we held our first round of interviews, and we utilized the data that we had gathered from our kids, from our booster, from our parents, to match the profile that had been established. And through that process, we were able to identify, review transcripts, make phone calls, call many different people to identify these individuals who we felt had a good opportunity to meet the profile that had been created. At that time, we moved on to the second round of interviews that we had our finalists attend, which was last week. Last week, we had those individuals that made the final round and their families come to Odessa, Texas, and spend an entire day on our campus and in our community, along with their families. So I want to make sure we also thank the committee for all their time and commitment to our kids here at Odessa High School. A special thanks to Mr. Boyd as well for his leadership and guidance of the committee as he organized many of these meetings that we held. Which leads us to today. So today, we obviously are extremely excited and thrilled to bring the newest face, if you will, the newest member to the Bronco family in introducing Dusty Ortiz as the new head coach, campus athletic coordinator at Odessa High School. I can tell you that I'm extremely excited to bring this individual on board because I firmly believe that we not only will receive a great asset to our athletic program, but our other athletic programs, but more importantly, to the overall school here at Odessa High School. Before we actually introduce Coach Ortiz and his family, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our new athletic director that was appointed last night at the board meeting, and that is Tracy Borgard. If we'll give her a big hand for me at this time as well.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. Hey guys, great to see you again. I saw you a few weeks ago. I think I started giving you a lecture and I thought, hey, I'm going to be the next football coach here, but I guess that didn't happen. Oh well, I'll still be around. We're here for an introduction to a new person on this staff that I feel that I could hand him my shoes, could walk in my shoes, and do a fantastic job on this campus. This campus means a lot to me, and I expect great things. Football, this right now is about you. Here's what I ask of you before Coach Ortiz takes over and you hear it from him. I expect your heart, your soul, your loyalty, and your dedication to give everything you have to Odessa High. You do it for you do it for your coach, you do it for the students here, you do it for your family, but most importantly, you do it for you. You only live once, so I want you to make the most of it. Coach Ortiz, I'd like for you to come up here. I'd like for you to meet the new head coach of Odessa High. I would like for you to meet his family as well, because he is bringing his family. Family, come on up. Dorothy. Dorothy is an educator. She is a principal. She has been a soccer coach. She has been around the block in the education world, and we are glad to have you in Odessa as well. The two most important types in this bunch right here are Luke and Mabry. This is the crew that's coming to Odessa, Texas. And you will see them. I'd really appreciate if you'd welcome them. They are from the West Texas area. They'll be making their way to Odessa and they'll be here before you know it. So this is the new face on Odessa High School's campus. Thank you. Coach Ortiz.
Good morning.
Good morning.
One thing I want to do first is thank everybody that was involved. I want to thank the hiring committee. I want to thank my wife, my family. I want to thank all the previous coaches that I've worked under and I've learned so much from. And I want to thank y'all for accepting me. There's been, throughout my career, one thing that I've always enjoyed is taking programs that have potential, have a chance to win, and getting them there. I've been at numerous programs where they have not achieved the success that they were capable of, and I went in there and showed them how to do it through discipline, through work, through commitment, and then at the very end product is being a family. And that's what we're going to become, and that's what I'm going to do here. Guys, I want to pour my heart and soul out to you. There's not going to be a minute or a second I don't think about y'all. I want to start building relationships with you. And at the end of the day, you're not going to just become better football players. You're going to become better people for society. And that's my number one goal. We're going to win a lot of games. I promise you that. I promise you that. The X's and O's is the easy part. Okay? It's getting you to become the best person you can possibly be. That's the part that's the trick. And I'm going to do everything in my power. Our coaching staff is going to do everything in their power to get you there. And I don't know if y'all know much about me, but at the places I've been, we've had average talent to good talent, and we beat programs like Cedar Park, Shirt Steel, Lake Travis, Denton Guy. So we beat those top teams in the state. And it's not just because we had better athletes, it's because I trained them to do that. It was through their commitment through the 9 months of the year. It was their commitment in the classroom, so we didn't have to worry about grades. It was their commitment through the extra after school or before school, and we'll get you there. All you got to do is show up, let us coach you, let us love on you, let's become a family, and it's going to be some great times. We're going to restore Broncho pride here in Odessa High School. All right? That's pretty much all I have to say. I just want to thank again Mr. Marquez, Coach Brocart, and the hiring committee for allowing me to do this, guys, and I'm super pumped about being here. I'm going to try to get here as soon as I can and hit the ground running and start implementing the things that are going to take to be successful. All right, gentlemen? Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Mr. Marquez.
I do want to thank again all of you for being here this morning. Again, it's about you. It's about our kids. When we first started, the very first meeting that we had it in a year, we had it with this group of individuals, and I told you, when you take that survey, be honest, because we need to hear from you. Too many times, unfortunately, in our business and education, we make decisions without really conveying and hearing from the most important person, our kids. So, I hope you all took that survey seriously, and those individuals that were part of that process, from our community members, our parents, our booster clubs, you guys will be able to see that the profile that was established because of everyone's hard work is exhibited in the individual that we selected to be our next football coach. So one more time, thank you all. Thank you to all community members that are here this morning, all of our coaching staff, because again, our number one priority will and always will be the success of our kids. And you all know you are a student athlete, which means you're a student first. And we have to make sure that we take care of that responsibility first before we take care of our responsibility out in the athletic field. So that concludes the press conference for this morning. Obviously, the meeting, you guys will have an opportunity to ask questions specifically for Coach. But I do want to make sure that I did extend an appreciation for everyone that came out this morning to support the decision that we made and support the newest member to the Broncho family. If you don't mind, let's give the Ortiz family one more welcoming. Thank you.
And just ready to hit the ground running and start working towards being successful.
For you, why did you want to be the head coach here at SI High?
Well, when I first came over here last week and in previous talks with the administration and hiring committee, I just felt like this was a place where I could make an impact. I always wanted to be at places I could make an impact. I shared this with them. I never have wanted to be at one of these, South Lakes or Alitos. I feel like I can do my best work at a place like this and turn them into a champion. And I feel like the potential's here, the support's here, the kids are here. So all that being said, I just feel like I can make a big difference in the kids' lives athletically and academically and later on in their life.
What do you feel like is the key to turn this into a championship?
My blueprint is all about the 9 months that you have in off season. And we're going to do a lot of strength development, speed development, character building, character development. And so those 9 months, we're going to work harder than any team in the state of Texas. And then what we do is we reap the benefits during the season. So we're going to have our schemes. I'll get a little bit into our schemes. Our schemes are going to be modern. They're going to be fast. We're going to play fast. And we're going to use all the players' talents and make sure that we maximize their potential.
And when it comes to utilizing what you've learned in the past, what do you think you've picked up in your past roles that you can apply to this?
Well, it's going to take some time. I mean, it's not going to be an overnight we're not going to turn the page overnight. So the foundation has to be laid right. We can't take any shortcuts. So everything that we do has to be detailed, and we have to take small steps. And those small steps will end up being huge victories during the fall and then going forward.
What do you want people to know about your background and who you are?
Well, I'm a West Texas guy. I've spent 24 years out here. I grew up in the Panhandle, went to Angelo State for 5 years. They redshirted me my first year, and then I went back home to give a little bit because those kids, I wanted them to see somebody successful. So, and I think the other thing that's very important is I love rebuilding teams. I've been at 3 or 4 different programs where they've never experienced a winning season. And we ended up doing that, and that was a big part of that, with the strength program, with the scheme, with how I coach players and being a coordinator.
And you mentioned Angelo State. One of your former teammates is around here too, Justin Kerrigan. So when it comes to being a part of head coaching in the same city, what's that like with you guys?
That's awesome. I want to say I'm so proud of him. I mean, he's 4-0, and that's big, a fairly new program, and he's doing some wonderful things. But I think the biggest thing that I want to benefit from that is we can talk ball. And there's some things I think we can get together to help the community out and, work in the community together and just get things, just do things for kids. So I'm excited about that. Like I said, I think he has a wealth of knowledge, and I'm excited to get with him and just kind of learn what they're doing over there and see how it can help us.
And have you been in a head coaching role before?
I've been a head coach in other sports. I've been a coordinator, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, assistant head coach. And the head coaches that I've worked for, once they've seen who I am and seen my work ethic, they've allowed me to run most of the show. So I've been an interim head coach twice. So I kind of know what's going on. And then as far as like just running the show, I've done it quite a bit. So I've done about 98% of the job. Probably not the paperwork, but I think I've been a math teacher all my life. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem.
And what's it like when you finally get that role to have your family here with you to experience this?
Well, I'm just blessed. It's a blessing for them. It's a blessing for me. I think our kids, they see who their parents are and they kind of want to live through them and so forth. And I think they're just as excited as I was. I don't think they slept a bit last night. I know I didn't. I hadn't slept for about 2 nights. But I think the excitement and everything else is just going through their veins, and we're trying to get here as fast as we can.
Do you consider, because you mentioned you've been an offensive coordinator, do you consider yourself, I know you've been a defensive coordinator most recently, a more defensive-minded guy, or are you just like CEO type?
Well, the guys that I have on my list to bring in, they're going to be able to handle the offense and the defense. So I want to see myself more of a CEO, but having done both, I can definitely help out the offense when I feel like I need to help out the offense, and I can help out the defense when that needs help. But I prefer defense because I'm a big believer. I'm West Texas, so defense wins championships. But we have this offense of offensive flow coming through that now it's kind of a little more difficult to stop them completely. So I'm kind of on both sides.
And where are you from? You mentioned you're from the Panhandle. Where are you from?
Yes, sir. I grew up in Hart, Texas. It used to be about it would be considered a 3A town now, and now it's kind of to a 6-man. But my parents still live there, and we visit as much as we can, and just the lifestyle that's out there, we appreciate, and we feel like that lifestyle is out here the same way. So we're super excited.
Gotcha. I know Ben was wondering, when they bring you into Odessa, where do they take you to try and woo you?
Well, we drove in Sunday. I think Sunday, and I interviewed last Monday, right? And Sunday, you could see maybe to the tip of your hood on the car, and that was it. And and my wife, she lived up in Hart with me for 2 years, so she was accustomed to that, but it was really bad. And that was one of the first things they asked, how was it yesterday? How'd your wife take it? But, you're going to have some wind out here. There's nothing to that, I think. What they did is they showed me the school, the things that are going to be the most important in building a program. They showed me the weight room, they showed me the kids, they showed me all the facilities. I met some of the administrators, and I think with all that, most of my time is going to be on this campus. I'm not going to be out and about other than when we have community functions or anything I need to be a part of. But so they showed me what I needed to see, and that gave me more than enough confidence to know that we can build something special here.
And Coach, what's your message to Bronco Nation?
It's a new era. It's a new era, and we're going to do things right. We're going to be disciplined, physical, and fast. And I think, this fall, you're going to see a lot of that, and we're going to reinstill the Bronco pride to this community.
All right. Works for me.
Sounds all right.
Dusty Ortiz is from Keller Timber Creek High School, where he was an assistant head coach and a defensive coordinator. And next, ECISD named Tracy Bogart as the first female athletics director, and we look forward to the work you will continue to do.
Broncos, the child development students need your help. We are teaming up with Permian for a book drive. We are looking to collect all kinds of books to give to parents on campus for their babies. We need board books, cloth books, bath books, and picture books. You can bring your donations by the OHS Library Book Drop and the Welcome Center. Thank you for your help.
Hey, are you interested in water? That's a trick question. We all have an interest in water. After all, it's what keeps us going. But if you're interested enough, it's also the theme for next year's academic decathlon. If you want to compete, go talk to Mr. Ruiz in room 509 to sign up. Now for something you won't see in any other commercial. If you see your name on the screen, that means you were personally recommended for the team by a teacher here on campus. That must mean they feel pretty strongly about how smart you are. I'll even go a little bit further on this one. I see a lot of my own current and former students on the screen. Don't make me call you out by name. Go talk to Mr. Ruiz. Join the team. You'll have a better time with it than you think you will.
Next, we have Academic Decathlon, who is looking for a competitive team next year. The theme is Water, a Most Essential Resource. If you're interested, be sure to contact Mr. Ruiz in room 509. And be sure to fill out your FAFSA and to complete your Navion surveys. And next time we will have sports scores for you. Have a good day.